All right, it's August 17th, 8:15 p.m., and I am heading home from Fresno. Just a quick recap of the day. I was practicing down at the Fresno track. The CCKRA group, which is Central California Kart Racing Association, the website cckra.com. They did a good job. The track layout was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It was my first time down there, and then it's been a long time since I've actually been in the shifter kart on the sprint track. So the track was a lot of fun. So here's my one sales pitch. My second sales pitch, actually. Number one, if you'd like to sponsor me for travel so I can hit other tracks and report on them, I'm looking for sponsors. But back to that track. If you are going to Las Vegas for one of the events, whether it's Supernats or Rock the Rio, and you're in California and you want to practice, look up their next event to see when they're running the Fresno track again, because that would be a great track to practice a temporary surface with barriers. It's smaller than a Supernats or a Rock the Rio event, but it's still a temporary track with barriers, and it was a lot of fun. So I would encourage you, if you're going to go Rock the Rio or the Supernats and you're in California, make a trip up to Fresno for a weekend just to go pound laps and drive. And especially if you're one of those drivers that's only been to one or two tracks and it's always the same track and they're nice and paved and smooth, do it. You won't regret it. But that track was a lot of fun. The first couple sessions, it was a little dirty and lack of grip, which is expected on a temporary track. But it quickly cleaned up. I don't want to say gripped up, but quickly cleaned up. And in the shifter class, there had to be 12 to 15 shifters out there. Hondas, Vortexes. There was a guy out there on a TM. So that was a lot of fun. And I got to hang out with my buddies from Team Visalia. I was trying to rope them into a couple of podcasts because Jimmy McNeil was down there. He's a multi-winner of the Supernats, multinational champion. Robert Marks was down there. He is also a winner of the Supernats. But one thing I love about those guys, they're so modest. If I had their resume, everyone would know how good I was because I would tell everybody. I'd probably start my own podcast called Jason Berry is So Awesome. But they're so modest and they just weren't really interested in sitting down and talking about themselves. So I had a hard time trying to convince them, and I didn't do a very good job. But I had a great time hanging out with those guys. They're introducing new people to the sport. They have a great little group going on. That's what karting is about. Keeping it local, a bunch of dudes hanging out, having a good time. Everyone left with smiles on their faces. It's just such a fun day. I'm going to do it again, for sure. But I need to get back to Dixon or Davis. Prairie City would probably be pretty helpful for me. And just go pound laps in the shifter so I'm not as embarrassed as I was today. Because it's pretty pathetic when Team Visalia, again, Jimmy McNeil's down there. He's a badass. He's fast. Robert's a badass. Daryl Tunnel was down there. He puts in a lot of laps. He's a badass. All these guys are older than me. And to be quite frank, they knocked my dick in the dirt. So it was embarrassing, but not really. I kind of expected it going down there. But it was a lot of fun. So that was today, the CCKRA, and I just still have a smile on my face because the track was so fun to drive, especially in a shifter kart, and trying to figure out the different nuances of the surface not being a perfect racing surface, and if you miss your line by a couple of feet, which is huge, but how differently the kart reacted. How bumpy or smooth the track could be. And I didn't do anything to the kart all day. I checked tire pressures, I added gas, and I just drove it. Because every time I went out, I went substantially faster. So that's not a kart problem. That's a driver problem. And one thing some of us do is we overanalyze everything. And we want to be keyboard karters and put the perfect tune on the kart before we ever roll it out of the trailer. Just get out there and do it. And just go drive. Again, I know I was slow, but I'm going home. I have a huge smile on my face. I got to hang out with my buddies. And the track was a lot of fun. So I'm able to say I added another track to my resume. And the Central California Kart Racing Association, they did a nice job setting everything up. So that was nice. It was easy to get in and out of registration to sign up. They put me in a spot where they knew I was pulling out tonight, so I could pull in and pull right out with ease. So that was pretty nice. And from Sacramento, it was only about a 3-hour drive, so that's not bad at all. Again, I just really had a very fun time today, and I'm serious about looking for sponsors. I want to do this more and more and bring more attention to some of these tracks, and someone has to do it. And we got to get these tracks out into out to non-kart racers. And then we need to get these kart racers into karting schools or rental days. And then we need to get these kart racers into kart shops. And we need to get them into karts. And they don't need to come out and race. That's not the whole idea of NorCal Karters. The whole idea of NorCal Karters is to bring more people into the sport as a whole. And, some of my favorite customers are the ones that just go out to the track on a Thursday and just pound laps. And they just drive. And they drive older equipment. And at the end of the day, they call and say, man, that was such a fun day. That's exactly how I feel right now. It's just such a fun day. So I really look forward to that. That was nice. And NorCal Karters has some exciting news coming up. We're working with Michael Nava. He's a photographer, and I will post a link to his website. He was out there today taking pictures with his family. Came along with him. His son was walking around the pits doing some video. It's just a good day, and that's what NorCal Karters is about. Let's promote the sport. Let's make it fun. Let's focus on the club stuff. Let's bring more people out to the local tracks. Let's promote it to our friends that might just be spectators. And I don't know, I'm rambling. So if you haven't got the hang of it yet, I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. And my kart ran flawless all day. I had one mechanical issue, which was 100% my fault, caused by not having a zip tie in the right spot. So that was it. Other than that, tire pressures, add fuel, and drive. And if you get on the track and you just kind of suck and your lap times aren't there, get out to the track and just drive. Just drive. Drive till you're consistent. Then when you're consistent, then start making some small changes. Hop on the kartpulse.com forums. Ask them a couple of questions. Hey, what should I do? What about this? And get some feedback from those guys. Or talk to people at the track. Hey, what should I try? If you don't know what to do, narrow up the kart a little bit. Narrow up the front. Narrow up the rear. Widen up the front. Check your rear width. Make sure you're within regulation. If you're under, then widen up the rear. There's small little things you can do to make the kart work better or worse. And just go out and drive. And when you're driving home, have a smile on your face because you had a good day. So that is my ramble. I had a really good time. I don't know how this podcast is going to come through because I am driving down the road and I don't know what the background noise is going to sound like because I am doing it live. But thank you to the CCKRA guys. You did a great job with the track. It was easy to get through the registration. It was nice to have an announcer on a practice day telling us when our group was coming up. That was nice. The layout was a lot of fun. Thank you to the Team Visalia guys for having me down there. they're just some of the best people you'll ever find. Not just in karting, but just in life. They're just a great group of dudes, and that definitely added to the enjoyment since I haven't seen those guys in a while. And that's it. Until my next podcast. Have a great weekend.